How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. Happy to be here. So actually, I was going to make a joke, but I was going to say that, I heard that it was black tie formal wear tonight, but I guess I can't make the joke anymore. That's all right. That's all right. Well, I'm happy to be here, and thank you for that amazing introduction. It was really humbling, so thank you. I love Aquinas, and anything that I can do to help move along the sainthood here is really important to me. So, Bridget Whitney, I'm the executive director over at Kids Food Basket, and started there about 11 and a half years ago when I was a senior in the community leadership program. And I was a senior in the community leadership program because I knew that I wanted to work for social justice. I wanted to make a career out of social justice work. And it's just something that's such a huge passion of mine. And Aquinas has the perfect program for it with community leadership. I was also fortunate to be a double major in communication. So I learned so much about how to fundraise and how to be a person that connects with others through that communication discipline. So, we think about childhood hunger, and sometimes we think about kids that are living in third world countries, kids that we see on late night television with sunken eyes and distended bellies, and we know that they're starving. But here in America, childhood hunger looks very different. It may be kids that are right next door. It's kids that are typically missing out on at least half of what they need on a daily basis in order for their brains to develop correctly, in order for them to be able to reach their full potential and capitalize on their learning opportunities in school. Well, when I was a senior at Aquinas, I learned so much about this issue of childhood hunger and how difficult it was for any child to succeed in high school or in life, right, as they grew, if they were affected by this. And I knew that it was something that I had to do. It was something that I was called to do, whether it's God or the universe or whatever you believe in. I felt a powerful force that it was work that I needed to do. And it was my calling. And so throughout that year, my internship year, we had very humble beginnings. We actually started off with about $3,000. And I'll tell you what, it was very difficult those first few years. And if I had known how difficult they would be, I'm not sure, well, no, I still would have done it. But I truly had no idea how difficult it would be. And there's 3 reasons why. And I want to share those 3 reasons, and then I want to share 3 lessons that came out of that. So the first reason as to why those years were so rough was because we were the only organization in the Grand Rapids community that was providing a service like this. Now, 1 in 4 children in Michigan suffer from hunger daily. 1 in 4, it's a huge number. Kids don't need to be starving to be affected by hunger. In fact, the kind of malnutrition that most poor children in America suffer from is enough to have very diminished capacity to learn. And the bottom line is, teachers can't teach and kids can't learn when they're hungry. So this very first year, we started serving about 125 kids. And we started learning about the incredible impact that it was making. I heard stories about kids like Katie, who used to run into the cafeteria after lunch, and she would stuff her pockets with ketchup. And one day her teacher saw her doing this, and she said, "Honey, why are you stuffing your pockets with ketchup? Why so much ketchup?" And this little girl looked at her teacher, and she said, "I hope it's okay. When I get enough, me and my grandma make tomato soup." But we started serving Katie's school. And Katie doesn't have to do that anymore. That's the impact. That was the kind of work we were doing that very first year, but at the same time, we were getting phone calls from teachers and principals and parents practically begging for our services, telling us that kids would come into school in the morning shaking and lethargic from not eating at all, often since the day before, since dinner the night before. Teachers telling us that they weren't able to teach and how badly they needed this after-school dinner service that we were providing. But we didn't have the resources. We didn't have the money to take on any more schools. It was so difficult. Those kinds of stories that you hear, you can never unhear it. So it became the same thing that kept me up at night that also launched me out of the bed in the morning, launched me out of bed wanting to work and fight for the kids that we weren't yet serving. And I went to funders. I went to funder after funder, and everyone said the same thing, which is, no, we're not going to give you any money. You have 1 person on your staff or 2 people on your staff. You don't have any of the major philanthropists backing you. We can't give you money. So here we had an extraordinary need. We knew that the work we were doing was making an impact and very, very little resources. So we kept doing it. We kept pounding the pavement. We raised money from our volunteers. We raised money from event goers. We raised money from our parents. We raised money from anyone who would listen to us about this societal ill that existed all around us of kids that simply didn't have enough food for their brains and their bodies to develop correctly. And we worked it. We worked it hard. And here we are, 12 years later, serving 6,300 children each and every weekday. That's 6,300 kids every day who have the opportunity to get the nutrition that they need to learn and live and be successful and reach their full potential. There's three main things when I look back at those years that really stand out for me. Number one, kids need to get fed. You don't have time to try to raise that money. You don't have time to figure it out. You just have to use your skills. Use your skills and figure it out. When the world needs you to do something, and you know it and you feel it in your heart, use your skills and just go figure it out. Don't overthink it. Number two, I've learned that this journey has always been hard work. It was hard in the beginning, it's hard now. It's a different kind of hard. But that's what social justice work looks like. If you want to change the world, it's hard. It's never going to be easy. But it's hard work that feels so good to do. And the third thing, I love the quote from St. Catherine of Siena. If you become what you were meant to become, if you do what you were meant to do, you will set the world on fire. I love that because I'm on fire. I'm on fire for the kids we serve. I'm on fire for kids like Katie, who we've been serving. I'm on fire for the schools that we're not yet serving. I'm on fire for our volunteers. I'm on fire for all of the kids who are now headed off to college because they didn't have to worry about where they were going to get their next meal. I'm on fire to change the world. So if you're not yet on fire, figure out what it is that sets you on fire. Don't overthink it. Just use your skills and go figure it out. Thanks, everybody.